And we're back. Now we're going to take a look at the build. And if you're wondering why you're seeing SKARLET for Mortal Kombat 9, well, I'm going to give you a short story. So I opted to play SKARLET as the Drunken Brawler build because I have been thinking long and hard whom to pick. And come on, Jackie Chan, Hulk Hogan, and so on and so forth. They're all good brawlers, but I wanted someone who bleeds readily and makes her enemies bleed just as readily. And it just so happens that Scarlet is my favorite Mortal Kombat 9 character. So it wasn't a difficult pick in order to get her in the whole thing. So looking at the special, I started with 8 strength, which I made 9 with a special book in Sanctuary, 1 perception, 3 endurance, 4 charisma, 7 intelligence, 1 agility, and 1 luck. As I said in the previous part of the video, I decided to play this tune like this because I wanted to completely avoid going agility luck crazy the way I am doing it in my snake crit build with melee weapons and so on and so forth. And by melee weapons, I mean daggers and swords and hammers and all that good jazz. And don't no worries, the melee build is also Scarlet. So yeah, call me obsessed. So how do we start the build? As I said at the end of the video, I strongly suggest you level up a bit before you get into the whole wasteland exploration thingy, especially if you're playing on higher levels. As I said, my build is for survival. I've played survival, and I'm also always playing survival. And this is why I try to be at least level 5 before I leave Sanctuary. I always built up Sanctuary up until level 5 because, as I said in all my other videos, that's the best thing you can do simply because you need to do it anyway. Once you rescue Preston Garvey, they will ask you to build sanctuary for them anyway. So you might as well tear down the houses, tear down everything, and set yourself for a good game and actually just have some plain fun with it. Because come on, who doesn't like building? If you're in for the action, okay, you can totally kick down the difficulty or just or just start like this. It's perfectly okay. You can totally start the game like this. It's just not the way I'm doing it. I always pick Piper first, and then I start playing the game normally. And this is why I have developed my own tactic and playstyle to fit all of that stuff. So, how do we start? We start with Rooted 1. So why Rooted and then Iron Fist? Rooted gives you 25% more damage. Iron Fist gives you at start 20, so Rooted will be giving you 5% more damage, even if that damage won't be all that high. If should you choose to play with Piper and go to Diamond City, you should absolutely use some of the money you made over there to buy yourself some knuckles or some simple or a boxing glove or something like that, something to give you some damage early in the game, because using fists isn't the best choice. So Rooted and Iron Fist one will give you good damage on anything below very hard, I'd say, unless you decide to go to a place where you can actually buy yourself some better melee weapons, like better fist weapons. I don't want to use the word fisting because come on. So level 4 life giver, level 5 toughness 1. We'll be taking 3 levels of toughness in order to give ourselves this early game survivability before we get the ballistic sweep. And we'll be getting the, unlike my other builds, we will be getting the ballistic sweep very early on, because this is a charisma heavy build and you totally want to grab the ballistic sweep early on. And this is why we're going to be doing double improvements on the ballistic sweep improvable armor. And they will be on level 25 and on level 39. So bear with me as we get up to there. On level 6, we'll be taking a point in strength, making it up to 10, and that's also 10% more damage. On level 7, we're getting strong back 1. You might be wondering why the hell strong back and not something like hacker, locksmith, or something like this. Thing is, in those locked rooms or in those safes, there isn't very much, there isn't really anything amazing, really. There could be a little bit, some bullets, some pipe pistols, some pre-war money, and all that stupid stuff that, quite honestly, every now and then make me wonder why do I even pick those perks, because come on, if you're playing fist fighter build, you are going to be selling your bullets, you are going to be selling all kinds of weapons that you don't need, and you are going to be using that money to buy yourself the best gear possible for your level. And keeping in mind that a good amount of numbers across the world in Diamond City, Bunker Hill, Lucas, who roams the wasteland, Covenant, and so on and so forth. They all have leveled items. They have items of the next tier even. So you can totally opt to spend like 5,000-6,000 caps, which are not that easy to procure, not that difficult actually to procure, as long as you checking those great mentats. Yeah, they're not that difficult to get, and you should totally use those money in order to get yourself the best gear possible. You shouldn't be looting it and putting it on and just like wondering why the hell I'm dying. Why use damage resistance damage resistance 4, energy resistance 5 leather greave or something when you can buy yourself the mantis greave from Lucas, which has like 1623 or something like this, or was it, I don't really remember, but it's way bigger. One of these gives you more than all of those low level leather and trader and whatever pieces, and it's you shouldn't be depriving yourself on that, especially on survival when you need to survive. So this is the reason for me picking strong back. I want to look the whole Commonwealth with me if I can, because doing so will let me fast travel to cities even if I'm overburdened like crazy. I can fast travel to cities. I can sell all kinds of stuff. I can buy myself all kinds of chems. I can buy myself all kinds of whiskeys and so on and so forth, and plan make the staples of my build. And yeah, that's the reason I'm playing with Strongback. It's a really good perk for this build. I know you might not like it if you don't just pick something else like endurance or whatever. In my opinion, it's important. You may have a different view of it. Level 8 Life Giver 2 for 20 more hit points. Will at level 8 we'll already be looking at a good amount of hit points, so you will be able to take a good number of hits. Level 9 Iron Fist 2, level 10 Toughness 2, and level 11 Strong back 2. With all these, you will be able to pick a lot of stuff, sell a lot of stuff, buy a lot of stuff, and just plain out play your game the way it is. Lone Wanderer 1, I picked it on level 12 because I didn't really had any good other pick. Like, thing is, Party Boy 2 is a level 15 perk, and I need Party Boy 1 and 2 in pick consequentially, because Party Boy 1 is bullshit. The fact that you're getting an immunity to alcohol is absolutely nothing. And Chemist 1, you can probably shove it on level 12, but I'd rather the people who know my builds know that I always pick the perks in a specific fashion. If I like the second level of a perk, I will pick the first level first. I will pick the first level at the first possible opportunity. So in this case, since I want Party Boy 1 and 2 at 14, 15, I pick Chemist 1 on 13. Because I actually want the Chemist level 2, because that will make the chems last twice as longer. And suffice it to say, it's not that difficult to level up with this build. Just do the quests for the Brotherhood, do the quests for Diamond City a bit, do the quests for for the railroad, and you'll be looking at a lot of experience coming your way. You don't really need to go all that crazy unlocking areas and so on and so forth. Just unlock them as you complete those quests. So level 17 is Lone Wanderer 2. I picked it on level 17 because that's the level when you should usually start going solo. If you can't, well, you can totally move it down the line, but the thing is, those skills are pretty much on the levels that they are. So I'd suggest you pick Lone Wanderer on 17, even if you're not done with Preston Garvey. Piper is very easy to satisfy, she's very easy to farm likes with, even with your measly novice lockpicking she's very easy to get her to like you, and I totally leave Preston Garvey for last once you so you can talk to Mama Murphy while he's in your party and tell her to quit doing the cams. This will give you lots of likes from Preston, from Piper. Then go to the places that you should be actually helping. Those settlements that you should be actually helping, the ones that Preston's actually sends you to. And every time you agree to help them, Preston will give you even more likes. If you think that you can't deal with him, just cheese him out by reattaching mods and saving and reloading, and it's perfectly okay. This is what I mean by but it's up to you to decide when you should start being the lone wanderer. I'd say lone wanderer 2 is amazing. Like I'd rather start being alone after level 17 when I have the 30% reduction in damage, than at level 12 when I only have like 15%. 15% isn't much at all. I'd rather have the 17, the 30 on the level 17. So level 18 Iron Fist 3, level 19 Toughness 3, and that's the last one. Level 20 Life Giver 3, so you have 20 more HP and your HP regen naturally. So I am going to round up this build as a very high regen build because I absolutely believe that heavy regeneration is the way to save you on survival. Now I know for a fact that I did a small test and I actually managed to beat the Deathclaw in just a power armor without dying and without using any weapons. I just used my fists, and it worked. It absolutely worked. The power armor was pretty much stripped to pieces afterwards, but who cares? And yeah, I survived with like 30% hit points or so, which was actually rather good. I cannot complain. And this is mainly because I already had Life Giver 2 before I had to tackle the Deathclaw. And I already had my full strength, and I checked some camps and some alcohol. It totally works. So, level 21, strong back 3. In this case, once you're over encumbered, you can still use your action points to run. Not like run like sprint. This will make you use your action points to move faster as if you're not encumbered. This is actually a really nice thing to have, especially if you're already full on stuff and you want to just leave a building and just put everything in a simple container, everything that you don't need really in a simple container right in front of the building or a body or something like this. Go sell, return, pick, sell, and so on and so forth. Eventually this won't be an issue at all, but as I said, early game is extremely in the early game is extremely important to play with as much caps as possible. Like you want to be logging the most stuff possible in order to make as much money as possible and buy you all that stuff, because after level 20 the Dead Claw Gauntlet becomes available. I think around level 16 or so I was already able to buy a Power Fist. So the levels should be pretty much, if you play like me, you'll be done around level 9 or level 10. Around this level you should buy yourself some knuckles or bladed knuckles if you can, if it's at all possible, or a boxing glove. Around level 14 16 you should be looking for a Power Fist, and after level 20 you should be looking for a Deathclaw Gauntlet. The best thing about the Deathclaw Gauntlet is that you need absolutely no blacksmith perk in order to add the third claw, and the Deathclaw Gauntlet does a crazy amount of damage. At level 25 with my normal gear I have like 148 damage on the Deathclaw Gauntlet, and that's amazing. Now if you opt to play this build with sneak crits, that will be even more damage, but where's the fun in that? Carbon, I don't want to play the same build that I'm playing on my other two. So at this point You'll be okay. You'll be managing to fight on your own. And I got up to level 25 very easily. I was playing solo after level 21 or so, and this is the time that Preston actually couldn't keep his stuff on anymore and was totally in love with my poor Scarlet girl. And yeah, I got his perk, and I started going it alone. On level 25, the in the build, as you saw in the first video, I already had amazing resistances, and up until level 25 the build is pretty much complete. After everything we take afterwards is just building up already on top of the stuff that we already have. So this is why I'm starting to work on endurance from the levels of 26 till 29. As you can see, I'm not even talking about the endurance bubblehead. You can get it at your leisure. I'm not talking about the strength bubblehead. You can totally get it at your leisure whenever you feel like, if you want, whether you want it, and so on and so forth. It's up to you. Level 30 strong back 4, and our strong back build is complete. With strong back 4, you can fast travel when over encumbered. You can be lugging like 1,000 pounds of stuff and you can still fast travel. It's awesome. It's really awesome. Go to Diamond City Market, sell everything, make tons of caps, buy yourself all kinds of ballistic fiber from Clio in Good Neighbor or whatever you feel like. Stock up on camp, stock up on alcohol, and just go fight some more. Easy as that. Level 31, Iron Fist 4, level 32, Chemistry, and from the levels of 33 to 35, you can opt to pick between Adamantium Skeleton and Medic. Now, if you're playing on a lower difficulty, like very hard or less, I would strongly suggest picking Adamantium Skeleton because it is an amazing secondary perk. Because you will simply reduce the limb damage and completely remove it, and that's actually amazing. Well, if you play on survival, I would rather start building up Medic, or if you wish, you can totally pick those endurance points on the levels from 33 to 35 and then pick medic afterwards, because what we are going for is the fourth level of medic, because this makes the steam packs work way faster, and on survival that's actually crucial. And that together with solar powered will be giving you a really nice amount of regeneration even in combat. And I'd rather have that. I'd really rather have that than Adamantium Skeleton, for example. Because I want to survive on survival, and Adamantium Skeleton is doing nothing for me. If it was providing some extra resistance, it's okay, perfectly fine, but it's not. And besides, I don't plan on being damaged by explosions and so on and so forth, because I'm going to use that Armorer 3 in order to make me some dense equipment. And I believe the Black Ops chest piece was already dense and reduces damage from explosions. I'm going to drop that thing on everything else, because the biggest thing, the biggest problem in this game on survival is are explosions. The only thing that easily survives explosions is power armor, and we're not going to use that. What kind of brawler are we going to be in power armor? It's unfair. A brawler is a brawler because he can lay out any person that he sees, be it in power armor or not. And besides, the Deathclaw Gauntlet is amazing and does a lot of damage. So, level 39, armor 4. And at level 39 we get the best level of ballistic sweep, and those resistances that you saw in the previous video will get even better, which is amazing. Level 40, Lone Wanderer 3, and we're done. That's even more damage on top of everything we've been stacking from camps, alcohol, strength, and so on and so forth. Level 41 we start working on solar power. Level 42 we're going to pick a point of luck and make it 2. You could be probably at 3 if you've picked the bubblehead already. And afterwards we're going to improve our damage a little bit more with Bloody Mess. Now, to me, Bloody Mess is a late game perk, because 15% on top of something simple isn't really amazing. So if you're inflicting like 20 points, having 10% on those is nothing. It's like 2 points, and it's absolutely unnecessary when you should be probably picking all kinds of other stuff. And this is why I always round up my builds, especially the ones that do lots of damage, with Bloody Mess after level 40. That's how I usually play. You can opt to do it otherwise. It's up to you. So on level 43, with the luck bubble head, you should be able to grab Bloody Mess 1. So this gets your luck to 3, and you're perfect. So thing is, at level 43, you should be totally able to go and grab that bubble head, even if it's like on the far eastern side of the map, and there should be leveled enemies there. You should be able to do it. So we grab 2 levels of Bloody Mess, 10% more damage on level 44, and then we grab the last levels in Chemist and Iron Fist. Now, I'm keenly aware that Iron Fist 5 lets you get a paralyze on crit. And honestly, I can totally get behind builds that want to use high luck in order to get more crits and more paralyze. But the thing is, in order to invest in luck, you have to sacrifice a lot. And I'd rather not sacrifice my strength, my rooted perks, and so on and so forth, or even the endurance points that I've already been adding. Because with 10 endurance, you will be looking at a ton of hit points, and you'll be very, very sturdy, and you will be able to survive a lot. And that's the thing. I'd rather do that and work on agility or luck after level 50. Hell, with this build I would also try to pick a local leader, because if I already have medic 1 and I've already have my 7 points in intelligence, all I need is pretty much 3 perks in order to make I actually 5, okay, 5, in order to make a good local leader, like 2 levels of local leader, 2 levels of cap collector, and 1 level of science. Then you're done. So, rounding off the build, Bloody Mess 3, Bloody Mess 4, or Medic 4. Honestly, I don't really like the Bloody Mess 4, but sometimes enemies bunch up together in order to kill you because you've been disarming them, and sometimes Bloody Mess works like this. It works better for close combat characters than it works for range characters. Actually, Bloody Mess 4 I would not recommend. I would never actually recommend for a range character. So it's either this or this. If you decided to play with Adamantium Skeleton, go Bloody Mess 4. If you decided to play with Medic, go with Medic 4. With Medic 4 you have way better regen and way better Stimpack usage. And to finish up, Solar Powered 2 and 3, and then the build is pretty much complete. You have lots of damage, you have lots of regeneration, you have very good survivability provided by endurance and all those levels you've been going. Actually, the only thing that this build is a little bit hard at is the early game, and I would say if you're playing smartly, early game will be an absolutely no problem. Early game is easy as hell if you play smartly. If you take a risk, go open the high level areas with the Bunker Hill, Diamond City, and so on and so forth. You will have a lot of places where you can buy your gear, and it's not really that difficult to do that, because Bunker Hill is easy to unlock, Drumlin Diner is easy to unlock, Diamond City, it takes a little bit of practice, but it also is easy to unlock. And the only thing that is actually more problematic to unlock is Good Neighbor. Everything else is pretty much a snap. So if you opt to play this build, sell everything, sell your ammunition, save your caps, chuck grape mentats, and of course get addicted. Thing is, many people will complain, why do you have party boy and why don't you have chem resist? Chem resist is not necessary in my opinion for this build at all. Thing is, you can remove your chem addictions for 75 caps in Diamond City. Why waste 2 perk points for something that you can do so cheaply? And since we'll be swimming in caps, you don't really need it. I'd rather play with strong back, look the whole Commonwealth, make tons of money, and then just pay 75 to remove my addictions. Besides, since I know for a fact that I will be playing with lots of chems, those addictions aren't even a problem. You'll be taking your chems and you'll be perfectly okay. So, well, I would say enough of me rambling. I think that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the build, and of course, I will try to provide some gameplay when I can. The thing is, I'm working a lot. I'm having a lot of shifts without a break, and I know I must provide lots of gameplay on the Arcturus Max build and so on and so forth. But yeah, not as easy as it works. Because I'd rather test a build than provide gameplay on something that's already a little bit older and people could have already tested it themselves. So thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Hope you had fun. Goodbye.